This book, Crucial Conversations, teaches you how to enhance communication and reach a consensus when conflicting ideas are involved. In both personal and professional life, many people encounter scenarios like 1. Discussing a promotion and salary increase with your boss, where they believe you aren't ready, but you feel you deserve it. 2. During a meeting, your boss suggests a hastily thought-out plan, but your colleagues remain silent. Should you express your viewpoint to the boss? 3. Conflicts commonly arise between spouses. For example, the wife may feel her husband is indifferent, while the husband may think she doesn't understand how hard he works. How should you handle these challenging conversational situations? Crucial Conversations aims to address this question. Before diving into the content, let's learn about the authors of this book. Crucial Conversations is co-authored by 4 individuals: Joseph Grenny, Ron McMillan, Al Switzler, and Carrie Patterson. They have collectively authored for New York Times best-selling books and established Vital Smarts, which specializes in providing business consulting and training services. They have served over 300 Fortune 500 companies and trained over 1 million people worldwide. Today, we'll explore the concepts from their training course on Crucial Conversations. Let's discuss this book from 2 aspects. The first part explains crucial conversations and why we often struggle with them. The second part, facts and 4 ways to handle crucial conversations, which include clarifying the purpose of the conversation, creating a safe conversational environment, starting with facts, and understanding the other person's true motivations. First, let's talk about what crucial conversations are. The author summarizes 3 critical characteristics. The root cause can be traced back to our genetics. The primary goal of any species is survival. When faced with danger, we have only 2 instinctive responses: fight or flight. The 3 characteristics of crucial conversations mentioned earlier, high stakes, differing viewpoints, and intense emotions, often serve as danger signals. Consequently, our automatic responses can be avoiding the conversation or becoming confrontational. Moreover, when we perceive danger, our bodies release adrenaline, and our brains divert blood from rational thinking to prepare for a physical confrontation or escape. It means that during crucial conversations, our brains may need help functioning rationally, leading to difficulties addressing the issue. These challenging issues, unyielding opponents, a brain deprived of adequate blood supply, and impaired rational thinking explain why we often feel overwhelmed and unsure when facing crucial conversations. 1. Significant differences in perspectives. In crucial conversations, the parties involved have significant differences in their viewpoints. For example, parents might believe that getting married at a certain age is essential, while you may feel that being single is just as good. 2. High stakes. Crucial conversations involve high risks. It could be when you must point out your boss's mistakes or when you're engaged in a high-stakes business negotiation. 3. Intense emotions. Emotions run high in crucial conversations. For instance, in a business negotiation, both parties may become emotional and unwilling to compromise, leading to a deadlock. Having discussed crucial conversations in our state, the next question is identifying essential conversations. You should pay attention when a regular discussion escalates into a heated argument. This is a strong indication that it has turned into a crucial conversation. Additionally, changes in behavior, such as raising your voice, pointing fingers, or becoming unusually quiet, can signal that you are in the midst of a crucial conversation. So, how should one handle crucial conversations? There are 4 methods, and let's delve into them in detail. First method, clarify the purpose of the conversation. During a cost-cutting plan discussion during a meeting, an employee manager questioned the CEO about extravagant office renovations when they were implementing cost-cutting measures. At this time, the CEO's response is crucial, as it can influence employees' attitudes toward the cost-cutting plan and how other managers perceive him. Instead of reacting defensively, the CEO could acknowledge the question's significance and the underlying trust. This approach helps steer the conversation back to its true purpose, implementing the cost-cutting plan. The CEO might respond with, "That's a valid question. We must discuss it. Your willingness to bring this up shows trust in me. Thank you." This response surprises the meeting attendees and refocuses the conversation on the plan's implementation. The real purpose of this dialogue is to advance the cost-cutting plan. If the CEO engages in a heated argument, it can lead to the perception that he is insincere or hypocritical, making it challenging to implement the cost-cutting plan. Therefore, focusing on the conversation's purpose at every stage is essential. If you notice tendencies towards avoidance or aggression, it's a sign that you are veering off course, and you should quickly bring the conversation back on track. Now, let's discuss the second method for handling crucial conversations: creating a safe conversational environment. Many of us have experienced situations where someone, like a mother, attempts to explain something to us by going on and on without consideration for our feelings or thoughts. These one-sided conversations could be more effective. While it's common to believe that for others to accept our ideas, we must make them logically flawless and unassailable, the author argues that this perspective is flawed. In conversations, it's crucial to consider the atmosphere first and then the content. When people stop talking, or emotions escalate during a conversation, it indicates that the conversation's safety has been compromised. In such cases, instead of persistently expressing your viewpoint, it's essential to re-establish a safe conversational environment. A safe conversational environment implies that both parties perceive the conversation as having a shared goal to address and resolve the issue rather than engaging in a win-lose debate. So, how can you rebuild a safe conversational environment? Here are some strategies. 1. Apology and contrasting. Begin with an apology acknowledging any misunderstandings or hurt feelings. Then, use contrasting to clarify your intentions and prevent further misconceptions. For instance, if a sudden change in plans upsets your team, you might say, "I'm sorry for not promptly notifying you about the cancelled visit. I truly value your hard work. The reason for this was an urgent issue that could have had significant consequences for our company. I promise to report your achievements to our leadership when they visit." 2. Establish a common purpose. When dealing with conflicting opinions or interests, seek a common purpose. For example, if two teams disagree about when to work on a project, you can say, "Instead of fixating on these two options, let's find a solution that works for both teams. Why don't we discuss our goals and challenges to discover a mutually beneficial schedule?" Utilizing these approaches can rebuild a safe conversational environment, foster understanding, and resolve issues more effectively. Remember, focusing on the atmosphere of the conversation before delving into its content can make a significant difference in achieving a successful outcome. Now, let's discuss the third method for handling crucial conversations, starting with the facts. When we are emotional, we tend to overinterpret everything others say, often feeling that they are attacking or ridiculing us. This emotional state doesn't help resolve problems. Emotions often control us because we tend to fall into certain cognitive traps, according to the author. These cognitive traps lead us to lose control over our feelings. Let's explore some of these traps. 1. Victim mentality. People often see themselves as innocent victims and blame others for all their problems. This mindset makes them overlook their faults. For example, if a boss asks you to stop working on a significant project and you feel frustrated and complain to others about unfair treatment, it might be because you concealed the fact that you were behind schedule. 2. Villainizing. People assume the worst about others, assuming they have malicious intentions. For instance, if a supervisor pays close attention to quality issues, you might label them a control freak. This way of thinking can lead to exaggerating the other person's mistakes. 3. Helplessness. People often say, "I can't do anything about it." This thinking leads to believing that nothing you do can change the situation, so you give up on taking positive action. These cognitive traps divert conversations from the facts and make them more emotional. So, how can you bring yourself back from an emotional state? First, understand how emotions are generated. Emotions typically stem from subjective judgments based on facts, not the facts themselves. For example, if you and a colleague, Jean, collaborated on a creative project while you were away, Jean presented most of the project's content to your boss, leaving you with little to say upon your return. You felt infuriated, assuming that Jean was stealing your thunder. However, this assumption is just a judgment, not a fact. The fact is that Jean presented most of the content to your boss. To address this situation effectively, avoid starting with accusations based on emotions. Instead, begin with the facts. Jean could ask, "Why did you present most of the content to our boss while I was away?" "I was looking forward to discussing our work together, and I felt frustrated when I couldn't contribute. Can you help me understand your perspective?" By starting with the facts and seeking understanding, you can prevent unnecessary arguments and work towards a resolution. This is the third method for handling crucial conversations, beginning with the facts rather than leading with your emotions and assumptions. Lastly, let's discuss the fourth and final part, understanding the other person's motives. Often, the challenge in communication isn't our unwillingness to engage in an open dialogue, it's the other person's reluctance to open up. To become an effective communicator, you need not only to master your communication skills, but also to help and guide others to participate actively in the conversation. For example, teenagers going through puberty often become rebellious and are unwilling to communicate with adults. While this is normal for growing up, prolonged communication refusal can hinder a child's development. Therefore, parents may need to have a crucial conversation with their child. Suppose you've noticed that your daughter's grades have significantly dropped, and she's been wearing unconventional clothing and using inappropriate language. You want to talk to her, but she either yells at you or locks herself in her room when you try to discuss these issues. How can you open a dialogue that makes her comfortable enough to share her thoughts? For techniques can help you achieve this, asking for their perspective, confirming their feelings, reframing, and actively guiding the conversation. Please let me know if you'd like me to explain these techniques in more detail or if you have any specific questions. We use these 4 techniques to simulate this conversation. Mother knocks on her daughter's door and says, "Can we talk?" This sentence is asking for the daughter's opinion. The daughter responds, "There's nothing much to talk about." "Who said you're my mother anyway?" The mother says, "Well, from the tone of your voice, there's a misunderstanding between us." "I want to hear what you're thinking. You often say I'm interfering in your life, but we haven't had a proper chat in a long time. Can we talk now?" In this sentence, the mother first acknowledges the daughter's feelings and then asks for her opinion. The daughter continues, "You want to control my school life and even my friendships, and you claim you're not interfering in my life." The mother says, "You're saying my advice makes you uncomfortable. Is that it?" This sentence is rephrasing the other person's feelings. The daughter might respond, "Well, it's not entirely that, but you always express your opinions on everything, and it makes me uncomfortable." The mother continues, "I just like to talk and give advice. I know it can get annoying after a while. Do you agree with that? Can we talk for a bit?" In this sentence, the mother is still rephrasing the daughter's feelings. The daughter, who may still be upset or unwilling to communicate, might say, "You just keep talking about me." The mother needs to respond, "Is my perspective wrong? You skip school and intentionally wear shabby clothes to stand out, right?" This statement actively guides the daughter in expressing her true thoughts. In response, the daughter might say, "There's some truth to that. I don't want to be like everyone else. Being ordinary is too boring." The mother continues, "Yes, it's important to express your personality, but I think there's a difference between having a unique personality and being eccentric. What do you think?" This sentence asks about the daughter's feelings. The daughter might say, "Yeah, you have a point. You see, we've opened up this topic now." When a daughter's grades drop, she dresses oddly or even uses foul language, her motivation for doing these things is not to become a bad kid but to show that she's independent with her own personality. The methods she chooses are a bit extreme. The following conversation can be about expressing her personality and thinking of more advanced ways to do it. By asking for opinions, confirming feelings, rephrasing, and actively guiding, the person can open up and share their true motivations. Your conversation can go deeper and find new breakthroughs based on these true motivations. One important thing to remember is not to rush to express your own opinions. Listen more, use the technique of confirming feelings, and understand the other person's point of view. Then, you can proceed with active guidance in a safe conversational atmosphere.